Imagine spending your entire life in servitude, facing scorn, yet becoming a symbol of hope and divine favor. How did a simple servant girl from 13th century Italy achieve such lasting fame and become a beacon of faith for millions? For centuries, countless people have found profound inspiration in the life of Saint Zita. Her story isn't one of grand crusades or theological debates, but of extraordinary faithfulness lived out in the most ordinary and often brutal circumstances. She was a woman who proved that holiness isn't reserved for popes or queens, but can blossom even in the dustiest corners of a kitchen. Today, we're going to uncover the remarkable journey of Saint Zita, the patroness of domestic workers, and explore how her unwavering spirit transformed the mundane into the miraculous. Our story begins in the year 1212, in a small village called Montegrati, nestled in the Tuscan countryside near Lucca, Italy. This was a world vastly different from our own, where life was hard and social classes were rigidly defined. Zita was born into a poor but deeply devout family of farmers. From a very young age, she learned the value of hard work and the comfort of prayer. But poverty meant that children often had to contribute to the family's survival. And for Zita, this meant leaving home early. At just 12 years old, Zita was sent to work as a domestic servant for the wealthy Fatinelli family in the bustling city of Lucca. Imagine being a child, barely a teenager, suddenly thrust into a demanding household, far from everything familiar. This wasn't a choice, it was a necessity. Her life became an endless cycle of chores: cooking, cleaning, washing, mending, often from before dawn until late at night. The work was exhausting, the hours long, and the pay meager. But Zita faced more than just physical hardship. Her quiet piety and dedication to prayer often drew the scorn of her fellow servants. They saw her devotion as laziness, an excuse to shirk duties, or simply something strange and annoying. They mocked her, spread rumors, and sometimes even tried to get her into trouble with her masters. Her deeply spiritual nature, her habit of stopping to pray or attend Mass whenever she could, stood in stark contrast to the often harsh realities of her workplace. This was Zita's problem, her central challenge, maintaining her inner peace and faith amidst constant external hostility and endless demands. How could she possibly find sanctity in such a demanding and unsupportive environment? Zita's solution was not to fight back or complain, but to intensify her virtues. She became known for her unwavering patience, her extraordinary humility, and her unfailing kindness, even to those who treated her poorly. She believed that her work, no matter how menial, was a direct service to God. Every sweep of the broom, every meal prepared, every garment washed, became an act of prayer, an offering. She didn't just do her duties, she did them with exceptional care and diligence, seeing Christ in every task and every person she served. One winter day, as Zita went to fetch water from the well, she saw a freezing beggar shivering by the roadside. Without a moment's hesitation, she took off her own warm cloak and wrapped it around him. When she returned, she was asked about her cloak by her mistress. Before Zita could answer, the cloak was found neatly folded on her bed, warmer than before. Her radical charity was always met with a divine embrace, a clear sign that her simple acts of love were seen and cherished. Perhaps the most famous story illustrating Zita's unique path to holiness involves a bag of beans. During a particularly harsh winter, many in Lucca were starving. Zita, seeing the suffering, began secretly giving away portions of the Fatinelli family's food to the poor, convinced that God would provide. One day, her master became suspicious, noticing that the family's large sack of dried beans seemed to be emptying faster than expected. He confronted Zita. Fearing punishment, But trusting in divine providence, Zita prayed. When her master opened the sack, it was not only full, but overflowing with fresh, vibrant beans, despite it being the middle of winter. This was a powerful turning point, a clear sign to her employers that something extraordinary was at work. Another popular legend tells of a time when Zita, lost in prayer, was late for baking bread for the family. Her fellow servants, eager to see her reprimanded, went to complain to the master. But when they checked the oven, they found perfectly baked loaves, watched over, it is said, by angels. In another instance, when she was supposed to be doing chores, but was instead deep in prayer, her room was found to be spotless and her duties miraculously completed, again attributed to angelic assistance. These moments were not just miracles, they were divine endorsements of her devotion, showing that her commitment to God was always rewarded, often in front of those who doubted her most. Over time, the Fontanelli family, once skeptical and harsh, began to see Zita not just as a servant, but as a truly holy woman. Her consistent kindness, her unwavering faith, and these inexplicable occurrences slowly softened their hearts. Her fellow servants, too, eventually came to respect and even revere her. Zita served the Fontanelli family faithfully for nearly 50 years, until her peaceful death on April 27, 1272, at the age of 60. Her passing was mourned not only by the Fontanelli household, but by the entire city of Lucca. Her reputation for holiness had spread far and wide. People immediately began to invoke her intercession, and miracles were reported at her tomb. Her body, remarkably, was found to be incorrupt centuries later, a testament to her purity and sanctity. She was officially canonized as a saint in 1696. Saint Zita's life is a powerful reminder that holiness isn't about status or power, but about how we live out our faith in our daily lives. She teaches us that every task, no matter how humble, can be a path to grace when performed with love and dedication. She is the patron saint of domestic workers, maids, housekeepers, and even bakers, a beautiful testament to finding dignity and divinity in ordinary work. Her legacy inspires us to find God in the quiet moments, in acts of service, and in unwavering charity, transforming even the most difficult circumstances into a source of profound spiritual growth. Want more stories of inspiring saints who changed the world? Click on the video popping up right now.